There we go. There we go, production team. Loving that. Jamie, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here. Why don't you give us a quick rundown for anyone who doesn't know you, what you do, who you do it for, and then we'll get into today's conversation. Great to see you.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me. I am based out of Phoenix, Arizona. We just hit under 100, 2, 3 days ago. So, on
Where's
to,
your sweater? You should gotta be wearing a sweater or
I
something.
know, right? Put my beanie on, scarf.
I'll send you an errand one. How about that?
Perfect. Um, I am the talent operations and technology manager for Swire Coca Cola. And then I'm also the president and founder for the Restaurant Recruitment Roundtable and Top Shelf People Consulting. So my background is really 20 plus years in restaurants and recently made the transition over to beverage and manufacturing.
Amazing, amazing. So, talk to me a little bit about hiring for hospitality, because I know, just from conversations I've had at a high level with lots of talent leaders, it's certainly a struggle, and I feel like a lot of restaurants, a lot of hotels, like a lot of these environments, at least around where I'm at, everybody's hiring. So, talk to me a little bit about the approach and what some of those conversations look like with your group.
Yeah, so the Restaurant Recruitment Roundtable has about 100 different brands that are represented from PF Chang's, Cheesecake, Shake Shack, Raising Cane's, Noodles and Company, Kava, Red Robin. So we're all sharing ideas. It's really kind of like a consortium of people and covering all the different segments. It's definitely been an ongoing challenge. I mean, I think we're going through like ebb and flows of different challenges from pre-COVID to COVID to now. Originally it was applicant flow, and then we saw COVID and people started leaning on technology and using Quick Apply with Indeed. And now I would say it's really, there's a lot of instability in restaurants. You've seen companies that are going bankrupt, Red Lobster, Hawkers, Rubio's, Hard House, layoffs and closures. So I think the challenge is the stability. People are afraid. A lot of people left the industry from the pandemic and they're now doing retail or taking those transferable jobs somewhere else.
Yep.
It's definitely not for the faint of heart. Nights, weekends, holidays, standing long hours. So those are some of the challenges that the industry's kind of seeing. I think also, you if you're running a restaurant, you've got a 3 to 10% margin. Um, so you have to count all your pennies. And a lot of companies, I'd say more traditional, not as open to doing more benefits, doing more things for their employees because they're really looking at that bottom line. So
Yep.
taking care of your employees is more important now than it's ever been.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, we were talking about this earlier, in regards to I think I gave the example of manufacturing, but this is certainly another industry where, um, it's a massive challenge because I think the modern day, if I could call it that, the modern day job seeker valuing, flexibility, they're valuing being able to work from different places, they're valuing a lot of pay, and I think that it's a challenge when you're running a razor thin margin business, and then like you said, people don't go to restaurants between 9 to 5, right? They go on the weekends, they go in those times when they're not working. So how do you I guess, what are some of the creative approaches, that you bring to your clients? What are some of the creative approaches that you're hearing from restaurants and, hospitality that are winning right now? What are some of the things that they're doing that maybe other hospitality companies could take a look at?
Yeah, I think winning strategies and opportunities starts first with listening to your employees. Like, what do they need? What do they want? So it's the what's in it for me, and then also doing engagement surveys and looking at your scores and seeing what you can offer. So if you're thinking about offering a matching 401k, I mean, look at your total head count. I would argue that probably 80% of your total population is probably under 25. Just depends on the segment in the restaurant, but maybe the 401k match is not as important to them as other things. Um,
What are some of those benefits that you find that are more important then?
and I'm so sorry the dogs are joining the call today.
That's perfect. They're, bringing some really, valuable insight here too, I love it. This the argument for in the office, because in the office
Right,
is no dogs
hybrid.
allowed, right?
I know,
Hybrid, yeah.
I wanted to take the poll earlier, and it but, some of the benefits I would say it's gonna be, like free shift meals and thinking about your people, career opportunities, scholarship. Are you offering English classes to some of your employees where maybe Spanish is their first language? GED. Are you offering free uniforms? Are you offering vacation time? Because a lot of restaurant companies don't offer sick time, and their vacation is only for hourly employees after 1 year. So, are you offering flexible work schedules, which some say they do, but I've worked with a lot of restaurant companies where they say, no, we're only hiring people that can give a full
Yeah.
schedule and availability. And it's like, well, you're missing out on all these other applicants that could do part time for you. So, those are some of I wouldn't say they're super innovative, but that's what people want. You look at the poll.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, like, it doesn't I think sometimes people try and overthink and they overcomplicate, and they're
Yeah.
looking for something that is innovative instead of, like you said, listen to your people, right? It's caring about people. I can imagine one of the challenges too is, like, with turnover, you have turnover, then you have hiring, and then turnover and hiring, and then, if someone's new or you're constantly dealing with newer employees,
Yeah.
it can be hard to care, and I'm sure at a certain point I've joked around it with a friend that he owns an Amazon distribution company. I said, "You're just a staffing company," because he has so much turnover, he's constantly recruiting. I said, "You're doing the same thing I am. You're a staffing company, except you're staffing for your own company." So how do you kind of coach people with even that and, like, valuing people even if they have only been with you for a month, knowing that maybe they won't be there with you long term? Like, how do you kind of guide people with that?
I was literally just having this conversation yesterday with Workstream. And I think what's important, my favorite thing to say is people don't know what they don't know. And so if you're in the restaurant industry, there's this product called black box intelligence that we live and breathe off of, and it pulls into your HCM and it tells you what your turnover is and it aggregates and shows you all this stuff. So average, for people that don't know, hourly turnover in restaurants is over 130% annually. So to
Wow.
your point, it is a staffing company. And then for any of those salaried management positions, you're losing 1 out of 3. So never mind just regular new positions for corporate or restaurant openings, you're running 133% roughly for your hourly. Um, I just forgot the question. I'm on my third cup of coffee.
No, no, you're good. Yeah, just trying to understand, like, what's your advice for, like, how
Oh,
to,
yeah.
like, treat
Yeah.
and care for people that where you are having that high turnover still?
Yeah, I was talking to someone yesterday about this, and they were saying, "Well, why should we offer benefits and why should we offer these things?" And I said, "Well, because it's the right thing to do. And while it's going to cost a little bit more money up front, it could then you know, prevent your dropout long term. So you need to look at your turnover data. When are you losing people? What does that graph look like? And it's typically, I would say, do you have a really great onboarding process? I would argue most people don't. What does your turnover look like after 90 days, 6 months, 1 year? Corporations celebrate milestones at like 3, 5, 10, 15, 20. But in restaurant industry, the average time someone spends in a company is like I think it's a
Yeah.
year and a half to 2 years. So you're missing the mark if you're waiting for those huge 5 year milestones. You've got to really think about those people and try to offer those services and those benefits upfront to them. And then talk about, hey, what do those next steps look like? What is your talent management? What are those perks? What are your long term goals? Maybe it's a stepping stone. Maybe it's to go to corporate. Maybe it's management. Maybe it's outside of the industry, and that's okay too. Can you hire them back every season, every summer? And can they bring a friend with them? So now you have, you're like helping with your summer staffing problems too.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. I feel like there's a lot of issues that we could kind of dive into and get into. So for anyone who is in the position where they're hiring like this or they're working in hospitality, where can people find more information about you? What's the best place to get a hold of you? And I'd love to hear more about how people can get involved in the roundtable as well if they're in a position to.
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. I was feeling kind of proud of my number of connections until I saw yours this morning, Joel. I'm at You're at 250, 100,000. I'm at 25,000. So
Alright, it's
I'll
okay.
but
It's
LinkedIn,
about quality, not quantity, that's what I always say.
well, keep doing what you're doing. But LinkedIn, and then the Restaurant Recruitment Roundtable.com as well.
Love it. Well, Jamie, been a pleasure chatting. I actually wanna I know we're connected on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you a message. Would love to have a chat with you as well, just continue the conversation. And it was great hearing your dogs there as well, which brings us to actually our next segment, which is HR Pause. So thank you, Jamie.